Hello and welcome to the series of lectures on how to use Cisco Packet Tracer. These lectures will help you to figure out and how to properly do Labs 2 and Labs 3. So this program, Cisco Packet Tracer, this is the version this is version 5.2, and this is the one that we will be using. It's a bit outdated, but it's good because it doesn't require any Cisco login for us to register on their website, which is a little tricky these days. So please excuse me for any background noise. And let's begin. So looking at the interface, we have some regular stuff: load, save, flip, zoom in, zoom out. Over here we have some select, move, add some text onto the screen, delete stuff, zoom in, and send some packets. Send a simple PDU. Now, we're interested in these things. Over here we have some devices. We're going to start with the end devices. We have a regular computer, we have a laptop, we have a web server, we have a printer, and we have a voice over IP phone. Okay, and next thing which we have is we have these routers, and they come in different models and different makes. And if we come over here and we zoom in, we'll see the backplate of the router, and we will see that we have a fast Ethernet port. We have a console port, which doesn't really look like this, but just a picture, and we have an auxiliary port. Over here we have a power switch, and when we turn it off, we can add different modules. For example, we can add additional 4 Ethernet ports. We can add 2 different ones, we can add a single one, and we can add something like this. This is called a serial port, and this is how 2 routers would communicate with each other many years ago. Now I'll remove this guy, and I'll simply get a cover and cover this one. So I'll keep this one in the following way. Right, next thing, we have these switches. This is a generic 24 port switch. If we look at it over here, we have 24 ports, and this is something similar to what they have at school. These are very old models, built in 1993, and they're still used in some small companies. We also have hubs. Hubs is something like a switch, but it's a layer 1 device, and it has only 6 ports. Right? We have wireless devices. We have a regular access point, and we have a Linksys home router. And coincidentally, this is something that I have. Over here we have cables. Over here we have various cables, and these are the types of cables that we will use to connect to the different devices. The console cable is a cable that you would use from a computer onto a router if you need to configure the router's interface. We have standard networking cable, we have a crossover networking cable, some fiber, a phone cable, 40-volt phone cable, coaxial cable television cable, and some serial links. And we'll go through all of these. Now, we're going to start off with a very simple scenario, and we're going to talk about, first, let me give you a little tip. So let's say now it's 2004, and we want to play CNC Generals, or maybe Counter-Strike or something like that. But Generals is easy because it's an old game, and it doesn't need an internet connection on how to play. So you have one student, and you have another student. They have their own computers, and they have Generals installed on them, and they want to play. So there is no Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi is expensive. And what do? Well, very simple. We can connect them with a cable. And when we connect 2 different devices, we use a regular networking cable. But when we connect 2 devices of the same type, we need to use a crossover cable. This is the regular one, which plugs in into your network port. So we take this from fast Ethernet here onto fast Ethernet here. And we have an established link. Now all we need to do is to give the proper addressing. So in the IP configuration, I'll go 192.168.1.1. Copy this one, go over here. I will go to my next device and simply type in the next address with the same subnet mask, and we are fine. Now these computers technically can see each other. How do we check if they can see each other? Well, very simple. We open one computer and we go to the command prompt and we run the following command. Ping is sending a ICMP packet forwards and getting one back. So we are going to ping. First, we are 1-1. Okay, so we're going to ping 1-2. Are we getting a reply? Yes, we're getting a reply. And if we go this one, we can see that in our ARP cache, we have the MAC address of the neighboring IP address. So far, so good. Let's say we get another student. He says, hi, I want to play with you. What do? Do we get 2 more cables? One here, one here. That's not going to be scalable or practical. So what we'll do is I'll delete this cable and we will get a little device called a switch. Now I'm going to get this one simply because it's practical. It has 24 ports. We're not going to use all of them. And let's simply connect everything. Now, we're going to connect laptop with a switch. And these are devices of a different kind, so we'll use a straight through cable. So from this port, I'll go to port 1, since this is laptop 1. Then from the port 2, I'll go to here and over here, this one and this one. Now, it all seems well now, but the thing is these two are addressed, and when we connect them, they can see each other. But this person, this computer, doesn't have an IP address. So we'll go over here, we'll put it as 3, put the same subnet mask, and we're done. Now, these 3 students can play generals as much as they want. And this is the end of the first video.